There's an important film being released this spring that has been under the shroud of secrecy due to its controversial topic, an issue so sensitive that the film had to be shot in secret. The story of Abby Johnson deals with a woman's journey as an abortion clinic worker and the horrors of what she discovers.
Sorry to bother you, but they need an extra person in the back room. Are you free?
I sat down with the filmmakers, actors, and also the real Abby Johnson to hear about this amazing story. So Abby, take me back to September 26, 2009. That was the day that changed your life.
Yeah, I had been asked to assist in an ultrasound-guided abortion procedure. My job was to hold the ultrasound transducer on the woman's abdomen during the abortion so that the doctor would be able to visualize the baby on the ultrasound monitor. And I was shocked by what I saw because I mean, I knew I was going to see a fully formed baby. I knew that. But seeing this child, flailing his arms and legs and what looked like an attempt to move away, to find a safe place, it was heartbreaking. In just a few seconds, the screen was black, and I knew that that meant the abortion had been successful. And I knew that day that something was going to have to change. And I knew it was more than likely going to mean that I was going to have to walk away from my job, and that was terrifying.
Everything that they told us is a lie.
Don't underestimate the repercussions of this. You gotta be careful.
The filmmakers Carrie Solomon and Chuck Konzelman did their homework on how to tell this polarizing story.
We went to Texas. We spent about 10 days with her and her family, and it all came together into a very real picture of a very human woman who only ever wanted to help other women.
I really appreciate what you've done for us. I'll not forget it.
That was the thing that was really great about Abby. All she ever wanted, and she wanted it very, very badly, to the point where she had misplaced mercy for those misguided mercy for those she was tending.
There's still a part of me that isn't sure.
I know.
But the one thing that all experts agree on is that at this stage, the fetus can't feel anything.
Had you thought about the abortion movement? Had it ever affected your life in any way?
My mom had always shared with me when I was younger, when I was a teenager, that she had had an abortion when she was 16. Wow. She got pregnant with me when she was 19. My dad was in high school. And she said, she thought about aborting me, but it was never something she could do again. And I started to tell her about the story and what I was going to be making here. I knew that she might have an emotional response. But I didn't expect what she told me next. She was crying on the phone, and I said, "Mom, what's wrong?" And she said, "I'm going to tell you something I've never told you before. I was actually at the clinic. They called my name. I went back, and I was examined by a woman who was very pregnant, and I was on the table, and I decided that I couldn't go through with it." Wow. She told me that, and I'm just thinking, here I am telling Abby Johnson's story, and I literally almost didn't exist. So it's been a very personal healing experience for me that I didn't expect to happen.
To your dad and me, you were our baby from the moment of conception.
As you play Abby's husband, how do you embody that? Because obviously the woman's going through different, discussions and so forth, and then you hear a male's perspective of this. Tell me about that.
To love Abby the way he does, even while working, for Planned Parenthood and with the past and everything that she had, that's important for all of us to recognize just the unconditional love and the grace behind that. Or in a situation that, if you have an unplanned pregnancy or if you have that arise, as a man, you still need to take on that responsibility. You're not taking shortcuts, and you're not taking an easy way out by any means. You're going to do that for your family, and you're going to do that for that child.
I saw it, and it was like it was twisting and fighting for its life. 22,000 abortions. How do I even comprehend that?
Why has it always been this us versus them, and how do we heal that?
I don't know. I think often the Christian perspective has gotten a little bit right and wrong and legalistic, and religious and maybe a little Bible preachy. And that's not a powerful way to communicate. And that's not how Jesus communicated. He told stories because there's places in people's stories that we relate to. And as we know, testimonies are the most powerful thing. And just like when we watch a movie, all of us, we see someone's life unfold and we connect emotionally. We tap into places in us and are able to release and have emotions and learn and grow and come into more of who we are through stories. Because wouldn't it be great if we could get past all this friction in our culture and just put some challenging issues on the table to communicate and perhaps have more tolerance for your position, for my position, for places where we meet and places where we don't meet.
What do you hope will be the result of this film?
A lot of healing. I think that's one of the, there are tens of millions of Americans, men and women, who have been touched by this, who are grieving. Some feel shame, some are grieving, so there's mixtures of both. And because as a society we've decided you can't talk about this, preachers can't preach from the pulpit about this subject anymore, it's just too they're locked into their own little worlds, and they don't realize that forgiveness is there for the taking, for the asking.
Rough day at the office?
You can say that.
Especially as women, I think it's important to support women and to say, hey, I see you and where you are, and I'm not condemning you. I'm not, I support you and I love you no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've decided to do, because you're still, you still are in the loving hands of Jesus and he sees you as you are. So I hope that that's just something where it's, people see this film and they don't feel the condemnation. They just feel the grace and the mercy.
Rhonda, please don't do this! Rhonda! Let me tell you what's gonna happen if you walk through that door.
I'm also really praying that people who are apathetic about abortion, or people who, maybe are very pro-choice, very supportive of abortion, I'm praying that they come to the theater, even to watch it as a critic, but that they walk away changed, or at least walk away saying, now I know what happens. Now I know why they're fighting so hard. I might still disagree with them. I might not understand their worldview, but now I understand what's happening in the womb, and I understand their passion. I believe that is the first milestone to conversion. It's just that understanding.